The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation, make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels, operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Eugene Springfield Fire, on your new apparatus, job number 31564. Please utilize this job number when referencing your new apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. Let's get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting down at the front bumper, you'll find on both sides electronic sirens, PA speakers. Just inward of that location, you'll find dual air horns. Located directly in the center, you'll find a 12,000-pound electric winch. Moving up onto the passenger side bumper, you'll find your fire bell. Moving just inward of that location, you'll find tow hooks. Just inside of the dual tow hooks, you'll find an access compartment for accessing your winch. Moving all the way to the driver's side, on the bumper, you'll find your mechanical siren. Moving up onto the body of the vehicle, on the right and left, you have turn indicators. In the headlight cluster, you have a low and high beam. The outer beam is the low beam, and the inner beam is the high beam. Moving up from that location, you'll find emergency warning lights. Located underneath the Pierce logo, you'll find the access for releasing the hood. Moving up onto the seamless windshield, you'll find 3 windshield wipers. On the brow of the apparatus, you'll find running lights. Located in the center, you'll find a forward-facing fixed floodlight. Moving up onto the top of the apparatus, a full-width emergency light bar. Located within that emergency light bar, in the center, you'll find your opticom. Let's move to the side of the apparatus, specifically the driver and passenger side on the extended front bumper have emergency warning lights. All points of entry for personnel will have grab handles. In addition, within the front cab, the door locks will be latched, which are also keyed. Here's a few close-ups of some of those images, first starting with the side-facing emergency light and the fire bell. Moving to the center, your electronic Warren winch. The cap is currently covering the electronic module for the extension of your winch. On the right-hand side, or driver's side, you'll find the mechanism for free spool and engage. This is a 12,000-pound winch rated. Underneath the Pierce logo, located in the front of the apparatus, you'll find the latch mechanism for releasing the hood. On the passenger side, you'll find the fill location for your windshield wiper fluid. Moving to the driver's side, you'll find the raise cab, lower cab switch mechanism, which is in red, and the push button in yellow and black will be the activation for raising and lowering the cab. To the right, you'll find your power steering fluid. This is Dextron 3. Behind the driver and passenger seat, you'll find 2 additional access storage locations. Also in this vicinity on the driver's side, you'll find the Shoreline Inlet 20 amp plug. This is an auto eject plug. Just beneath that Shoreline Inlet, you'll find your air inlet auto eject. Just past the rear cab, you'll find an additional compartment. This houses LED lighting, an adjustable shelf, and long tool storage. Near the steps, you'll find the DEF fill location, 4.5 US gallons. It's a blue cap. Located between the tractor and the tiller, you'll find the connection location. Also housing information here regarding a warning label in using those side-facing attachment points. There's also warning labels here that you should seek the owner's manual prior to use, in addition with danger and additional warning labels regarding the possibility of pinch and pressurized caps, and the associated hazards with caps that are pressurized while removing. Located in the center, you'll find your large diameter aerial inlet. Just beneath that, you'll find the aerial drain. To the front of the cab, you'll find your tractor tiller locking mechanism. Once again, additional warning labels regarding only trained personnel should operate this equipment. Danger and crush hazards in addition with fall or tip over. Let's move to the control area. This is going to be your emergency stop. You have an override, which is a protected switch. Located in the center, you'll find your emergency hydraulic power. And to the far right, you'll find your level assist. The next section down will house the passenger side stabilizers and also the driver side stabilizers. You can see the associated switch with the movement of those stabilizers and indicator lights in green if they are properly seated. To the right, you'll find the emergency aerial power and stabilizer emergency power. You'll also find the diverter for stabilizers or aerial, and then the associated controls for each of those movements. Additional instructions can be found on the door itself for your stabilizers or aerial and associated valves. Located just beneath this, you'll find on the tractor your ultra-low sulfur diesel fill location, silver cap. And just above the aerial outriggers, you'll find a switch for the 175-foot 20-amp electrical cord reel rewind. Located underneath this, you'll find your stabilizer's outrigger pads. As we move to the center, you'll find your hydraulic AC generator. There's also a fill location and a sight gauge. Let's go ahead and move down inside the compartment just beneath the generator. You'll find your hydraulic reel rewind. Just to the side of this, you'll find your G1, which stands for generator. This is your main circuit breaker for your generator. The generator is rated at 10,000 watts. It is single phase. Just inside this compartment also houses the rollers and hose roller for your hydraulic lines. You can also see in the upper left-hand corner, this is the control module for your generator. There is an on-off switch and also a switch to control the mode. Just beneath that, you'll find the amps for line 1 and amps for line 2. Let's go ahead and move to the next compartment toward the rear. This is going to be behind the roll-up doors. You have a through compartment, allowing the shelf to move on either side of your apparatus. Moving to the next compartment back, you can see you have multiple shelves here. The bottom shelf pulls out. In addition, with the top shelf is a pull out and tilt down style shelf. Let's go ahead and move to the next compartment to the rear. You'll find an onboard tool compartment in addition with SCBA bottle storage and 2 adjustable shelves with LED lighting. There are 3 side-facing lights. You are seeing 2 currently. The first 2 is the mid and front section light, and not pictured is an additional rear floodlight. Moving to the rear portion of your apparatus, you'll find just in front of the rear tire a turn indicator marker. Just up from that, you'll find a forward and rear facing cornering lights. In addition, just behind the rear wheel, you'll find an additional emergency light. Let's talk about some of the compartments here in this area. First, we'll start with this long compartment, adjustable shelving, LED lighting. Underneath this compartment, you'll find a pull-out style step. And to the right of that pull-out style step, you'll find folding wheel chocks. This is the storage location for those. Let's move up onto the top of the body. You'll find an additional long compartment here with pegboard style tool mounting. Moving to the rear section, the next compartment is a similar spec and design. It has the pegboard style tool mounting abilities, LED lighting inside. Let's move up from this location to this compartment. You'll find accessible from both the passenger and driver side, although it is divided, so you can only access the ladder on the driver's side. Back down to the bottom area in front of the tire, you'll find your turn marker and also cornering lights. To the rear of this location, you'll find an SCBA bottle storage location. Let's now move up onto the tip of the ladder. First, you have a LED side-facing light. This accompanies the other 2 lights in the previous images. Moving up onto the actual ladder itself, this is the device mechanism which allows you to pin your waterway at a lower section. And just up from there, you'll find the warning light for load. And moving forward of that, you'll find adjustable LED lighting. Also located on the tip, you'll find a chainsaw scabbard. As we move down onto the waterway itself, you'll find your on-off valve for your waterway. On the nozzle itself, you'll find a forward-facing camera. This is the module for your wireless control of ladder controls. And at the base of the tiller person's compartment, you'll find the kerosene fill location for your heater. Moving up onto the top, this is the position for your aerial tillerman's position and the compartments associated on the lower passenger and driver side. Let's first start with the driver side. This is a 30-gallon CAFS system. There is a tank below in red and your controls, which are up on top, in blue. Let's cover those controls now. First, you have a system activation, in other words, an on-off switch. Moving down to the lower corner, you'll find your air bottle pressure. Moving up, you'll find your agent tank pressure. And then all the way to the top, you'll find your regulator pressure. Moving to the right, you'll find your pressure regulator for increase and decreased, clearly identified. And at the very bottom, you'll find your air bottle bleed down. There are also instructions on the left-hand side of this compartment, which will give you information on your CAFS system, not only to fill with agent and tank water, but also for draining and charging and use of the system. On the right-hand side of this compartment, you'll find an additional bottle storage location. This is the bottle to use for your CAFS system, and this is the connection for it. General information on your CAFS system, first starting in the upper left-hand corner, this is your water and agent fill spot. As you move to the right, you'll find the bleed down, and moving further over to the right, this will be the location for attaching your discharge hose. Once again, foam fill and water fill. The next valve over is going to be your overfill bleeder, and then all the way to the very far right, this will be your water form discharge ball valve. At the very bottom, you'll find a agent tank drain. Let's go over to the rear of the apparatus, first starting with the cluster housing the brake, turn, emergency light, and backup light. There are also a set of 3 switches on this side. We'll go over those next. Starting down at the very bottom, you have your passenger side scene lights, rear scene lights, and driver side scene lights. Down in the middle section, you'll have 2 tow hooks, also warning labels regarding the use of those tow hooks, and located in the center, you'll find a bottle storage location for 3 bottles. Moving up into the roll-up compartment, you'll find all of your ground ladders and also long tool storage. Above this location, you'll find your traffic advisor, and moving all the way up to the top, you'll find first your backup camera, and in the very center, a center fixed rear floodlight. Additional close-up here of the right side of the vehicle. This is going to be, once again, brake, turn, emergency light, and backup. There's also a danger label here regarding electrocution hazard. Your vehicle is not insulated. We're now onto the passenger side rear compartment, and we'll take a look, just a generalized sense of where things are located. As you can see, there are not the same configuration of compartments, but we'll go over that in just a moment. Looking inside the cab area, we'll talk about some of those components. Let's first start with the compartment down at the base. First, you have 2 12-volt barrel-style access points here, SCBA bottle storage, and also an LED light. Just forward of this position, you'll find, as you do on the other side of the vehicle, 1 single SCBA bottle storage. As we look forward of the rear wheel, we'll also find additional shelving. Underneath this, we're going to find your pull-out style step and also the location for storage of your folding wheel chocks. Moving up, this is the other side of that through compartment. Once again, it is closed off. This is going to be the number 2 light on the side-facing LED floodlight. Moving underneath in these compartments, you'll find additional shelving, adjustable but currently fixed, and also you'll find LED lighting. Located here, you'll find a shore power generator outlet. Just down from this location, you'll also find additional shore power and 12-volt barrel-style access. Let's go ahead and move forward to the next compartment. You'll find in this compartment a pull-out style shelf on the lower section, and in the upper section a pull-out tilt-down style shelf. Once again, this compartment here houses a shelf that goes out either passenger or driver's side and LED lighting. Once again, on the outriggers, you'll find crush warning labels. Just above that, you'll find the cord reel rewind. Once again, 175-foot, 20-amp cord reel. Passenger side, once again, you're going to find a USB interface and also additional control modules for your multiplex. You're also going to find the emergency stop, override, and also outrigger controls for your stabilizers. You also have front to rear and side to side leveling indicators. We've already discussed some of the items within this area, so I'll skip that. As we move to the exhaust area, I would like to point out a warning label here regarding extremely hot temperatures, and be cautious as to where you park your vehicle. Moving forward of this compartment, similar layout as the other side, you do have an adjustable shelf with LED lighting and also a shoreline outlet 20-amp plug, and just above that you'll find a 12-volt DC plug, barrel style additionally. We're now in the cab itself, passenger side. This is going to be just behind the passenger seat, additional outside and interior access to this compartment. As we move to the tractor itself, you're going to find two compartments. First, behind this access door, this is your aerial device fill location for hydraulic fluid, and then all the way to the right, you'll find your ATF. Once again, center one, aerial hydraulic oil. There's also on the door lid itself, additional information here on the types of hydraulic oil. Moving all the way over to the opposite side, you're going to find your power steering fluid. Once again, ATF Dextron 3. This is a general view of your 4-section ladder looking from the front to the rear. Let's look now to the driver's side. This is the pedestal for controlling your aerial device. You're also going to find additional warning labels here regarding pinch, and also a utilize your owner's manual prior to operation. Just in front of the pedestal, you'll find your communication system. To the right of that, you'll find your wireless system for controlling your ladder from the tip. And as we move down into the pedestal itself, we'll find a few of these functions. Let's go over these, starting in the upper left-hand corner with the red emergency stop. Also in red, a protected switch for the remote aerial control activation. You have an air horn, tip lights, tracking lights, ladder illumination, aerial speed normal or fast, and then hydraulic emergency power. On the right, you'll find your Pierce command zone. Tremendous amount of information here as you move through those menus. Let's go ahead and talk about the functionality. First, you have a stow position and a light indicating it's been stowed. You have nozzle control for stream and fog, lower and raise, right and left, and you also have ladder controls for extend, retract, right and left, lower and raise. On the lid of the control module, you'll find your ascendant waterway. Information here for waterway dry at a 35-mile-an-hour wind. You also have waterway charged, once again 35-mile-an-hour wind. Monitor nozzle positions and also specifications on the right. Also on the ladder, near the pedestal, you'll find the degrees in which your ladder is set. Moving forward to that, you'll find on the left-hand side additional location for ladder storage. Inside the ladder, first fly, or I should say the main fly, you'll find additional markings for the ladder length, and as it sequentially moves out, you'll find additional markings. Located at the tip, you'll have nozzle control, communication control, and also a outlet. You also have wireless connectivity for your ladder controls. Looking at the ladder itself, on the left, you have an emergency stop button. This is the same location of those wireless controls. Moving down at the bottom, you have a wheel here for the water flow. Moving to the right, in the white, you'll find your communication. On the nozzle, you'll also find push-button electronic controls. As we move to the rear section, to assist the operator driving the rear, you'll find these right and left green indicators. They indicate the location of the rear wheels. Moving forward to this location, you'll find additional top storage. Let's go ahead and move inside the cab of the Tillerman spot. Just behind the rear seat, you'll find the fill location for your windshield wipers. As we look to the steering wheel, you'll find additional information housed in the center. This is for communications for 1 stop, 2 go, and 3 back up. That is for your warning buzzer. Overhead of the operator, you'll find a push on, push off red and white light. You'll also find on the outer edges turn indicators that are yellow. Looking at the switches, you have driver side cornering lights, driver side body scene, rear scene, a future location, perimeter lights, and your generator PTO. Located in the center, you'll find an indicator for left, center, and right. As we move to the outer set of switches, we'll cover those next. First, starting with your windshield wiper control and wash. You also have step lights, a jackknife warning indicator, trailer ABS, passenger side body scene, passenger side corner lights. Down on the left side of the operator, you'll find your climate control. Let's go ahead and now move to the cab of the apparatus. This is going to be the tractor portion. At all points of entry, you'll have seatbelt information and warning labels. As we move inside the cab, you can see on the hinged area there is a red strap. Those are for firefighters getting in and out of the cab to make it a little easier. You also have LED lights, forward-facing SCBA and comfort seats, and bottle storage or SCBA storage on the back wall for 2 bottles, one on the right and one on the left. Let's go ahead and move to the forward location here. You'll find this access point. This is for checking your daily checks, oil, and transmission. Overhead climate control. Let's go ahead and now move to the passenger side of the vehicle. You'll find this white knob. This is the bell pull rope. We'll also find down at the very bottom a foot pedal for your mechanical siren. Let's go ahead and move to the center section of the cowling. This is going to be 12-volt barrel style in the silver and black, and the all black is going to be a USB style. 12-volt access once again. Moving forward of that location, you'll find your Panasonic all-weather radio and also a vehicle data recorder port. Let's go ahead overhead of the passenger. We'll talk about some of the components here. As you can see, push on, push off, red and white lights. There are also some future components, but let's take a look here. You have driver's side cab scene lights, front scene, passenger side cab scene, a future location, body side scene lights, rear scene, and passenger body scene, and once again, a future location for additional components. Overhead, I would like you directed to the very center. There is a red light indicating, if lit, that you have compartments or you also have a door open and not to move your vehicle. Looking overhead, this is going to be your Pierce seatbelt information. Red lit indicating that someone is in the seat and occupying it, although they are not belted. Green, they're occupying it and belted. As we look behind the seat, you'll find your shore power charger for your batteries, and you'll also find behind these seats shore power outlets. Let's go ahead and move now to the driver's seat. Once again, information here, warning labels regarding the use of safety belts. And also I would like to direct you to the red quarter turn master battery switch, and then all the way down to the very far right, some warning hazard labels, and also the yellow label regarding your Pierce manufactured by. Once again, warning and caution labels regarding the use of seat belts, entanglement, and other items. Please seek your owner's manual for that information. Your vehicle also is equipped with electric windows. Down at the base or foot area, you'll find your mechanical siren foot pedal. Moving just up from this location, we'll find some additional modules. Let's go over those. Green, this is going to be your engine and transmission ABS diagnostic port. We move up to the very top. This is your tech module port. And just beneath that, you'll find your display module port. Just beneath that, you'll find your ABS diagnostics, engine diagnostics, regen inhibit, and DPF regen. Let's go ahead and move just above the floor area. This is going to be about the right ankle location. You'll find a warning label regarding diesel exhaust and also caution label regarding equipment damage, and to make sure you read your service manual before welding or disconnect the battery. On the right hand side in this yellow label, you'll find manufactured by Pierce for the city of Eugene, date of manufacture, the job number associated with this vehicle. You'll also find gross vehicle weight ratings, cold tire inflation. You'll also find the VIN number. And then at the very bottom, you'll find fluid capacities for the device, fluid capacity, and the fluid types. Let's go ahead and move to the driver's seat. This is just as you make entry into the driver's seat, plugged into shore power, you'll find your auto charger information on your batteries. The red is indication here for your quarter turn battery switch on and off. On the opposite side, you'll find a push button for the warning buzzer and also an audible alarm. On the left, you're going to find your ignition, start, and hazard lights. And just to the right, you'll find the EM switch is your emergency master, your headlights and parking lights, and also the panel switch, which is a rocker switch for brightening and dimming your panel lights. Let's go ahead and look now just at the panel itself. We'll find at the very far left-hand side all of your different gauges consisting of water, oil, DEF, and temperature. You also have a tachometer and speedometer, volts, fuel, front and rear air. There are also some displays in the center. As you can see, currently someone's in the seat but not belted, and the parking brake has been applied. Located in the center, right in front of the steering column, you'll find a jackknife warning light. On the right-hand side, you'll find a high idle indicator and the OK to engage your high idle. You also have steering controls here for siren, lights, and emergency lights. On the right, you'll find your pull to apply your system parking brake, push to release. As we look further to the right, you'll find your Pierce Command Center. To the right of this location, you'll find your Allison transmission pad. You can see indication here that you're in neutral. Moving to the right, a set of switches. We'll cover those next. First, your air horn, electronic siren, siren brake, backup alarm, override. There are 4 future switch locations for additional components if needed, and then we'll cover the next set of switches in the next set of images. Starting on the left, you have an engine brake. It's an on-off switch, and the next switch over is going to be your engine brake for the settings of low, medium, and high. 2 future switch locations. You also have off-road traction and also mirror heat. Just above that location, you'll find your aerial master, stabilizer, locator lights. Those are the red lights on the side of the vehicle. Tillerman not seated. Lockout cylinders engaged. Your PTO for your generator, auto start, and a load manager. Just underneath that, you'll find operating instructions for your generator. Just above that, you'll find your mirror controls for left and right. And at the very front, you'll find your climate control for defrost heat and also AC. Over the operator's head, you'll find this yellow placard regarding the height, 10 feet, 11.75 inches, length, 61 feet, 7.37 inches, and your gross vehicle weight rating at 37.80 tons. Let's go ahead and look overhead just to the right of this location. You'll find your emergency master, roof light, front warning lights, side warning, lower rear warning, upper rear warning, high beam flash, and also your Opticom. Let's go ahead and move from this bank just to the right. You'll find an additional set of switches. These are going to house your driver's side cab scene, front scene, passenger side cab scene, a future switch, driver's side body scene, rear scene, passenger side body scene, and then your perimeter lights. Moving further to the right, you're going to find your traffic advisor. You have a direction indicator and also high, off, or low. To the right of that, you'll find your code 3. This is your electronic siren and public announcement controls. And on the A pillar, you'll find your VIN number. Generalized view here into the rear section of the cab from the driver's side looking over to the passenger side, and once again overhead
Do not move this apparatus if this light is lit. It could indicate that you have a door open or a compartment. Congratulations, Eugene Springfield Fire Department, on your new fire apparatus, job number 31564. If you have any questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.